Hello, welcome to Tuesday night. And here we are, quilt along with Kathy. Tonight we're going to do the Spin-e-fex curly cues, which are one of my favorites. I love doing those. And Joyce is here from Mesa. Hi, Joyce. So nice to have you. We've got Diana is watching from Bermuda. Oh, I'll bet it's nice down there. I wish I could be there watching with you. Carla's here from Oklahoma, and Charlene is here from Colorado. Hello, Linda, my friend from New York. And Jean, so good to see you from Mount Vernon, Washington. Evelyn, how are you? My goodness, it's so good to see you. And there's Cactus Day. And it is sticking, isn't it, Cactus Dad? Love it, love it. Lisa's here from Sugarland, and Regina is here from North Carolina. Hello, my friend. And Gwen is here. Kathy is here from Long Island. Sandy's here from Tampa. I hope everything is back to normal since Helene came through. Kathy is here from Livonia, New York. We have a Livonia in Michigan too. Did you know that? Donna is here from North Carolina, and I am hearing fireworks in the background. We have a fireworks going on in our little town right now. Joyce is here from North Carolina, and Carolyn is here from South Carolina. So the Carolinas are definitely well represented. Diana from Plain City, Ohio, and I'll bet you there's nothing plain about Plain City, Ohio, is there, Diane? Oh, Debbie says it's sticking and she loves it. Ruth Ellen is here from Northern Virginia. My goodness, guys, it is so awesome to see you all. And tonight we're going to do some fun stuff, I hope. I got a new pointer today. Well, it's actually not so much a pointer as it is a seam ripper, but it's one I'm probably not going to use a whole lot as a seam ripper. Notice I've got my name in it. Another gift from my dear husband. He's so thoughtful. He really just finds the coolest things for me. Gail's here from New Jersey. Welcome, Gail. So nice to have you here. So, what we've got, let's take a look at our Spin-e-fex. Spin-e-fex come in two sizes or two sets. Our set one is odd numbered sizes, and our set two is even numbered sizes. And there's only one thing that's really different about the two, other than their sizes, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But let's take a look first. We have a 1.5 inch. Now, this is a teeny tiny baby size, okay? But he's cuter than a bug's ear. And then we go to a 3.5 inch. And look at all of these beautiful lines that we can use for lining up. And we're going to do some of that this evening. So from 3.5, we're going to go over to 5.5 inch. Again, same lines. Then we're going to go to 7.5 inch, which is right here. I'm going to pull that over here. And then we're going to go to 9.5 inch. Again, same lines. Awesome. And then we're going to go to 11.5 inch. Now, the even ones are 2.5, 4.5, 6.5, 8.5, 10.5. And here's the difference. On our set one, we have an 11.5 inch. Okay. Set two, we also have an 11.5 inch, but you'll see that the head on the 11.5 inch is much lighter wider. They call this an 11.5 inch wide. So that's going to be the basic difference between sizes. Okay, we've got a question. Okay, so Jan, welcome. And she's asking, taking time away from the poinsettia outlining. How can I correct my top thread showing on the back when I sew backwards? What you would need to do, Jan, is increase that top tension just a little bit, and you should be good on that. Okay? Joyce is here from California. Linda, not a problem. Not a problem. She's apologizing for being late. We don't take attendance here, though. Oh, Mimi's here from Texas. Oh, gosh, you guys are so awesome. We have people all over the country here. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to show you a little bit on how I come up with what size that I want to use in a block. So what I did was I pulled out one of my orphan blocks here. Okay, let's make sure this baby's going to stay here. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to take a look. Now, I can use different sizes or I can use the same size. And if you take a look at this one, you're going to notice that it's too big. We're going to go right off of the edge or so close to it that we can end up getting our fabric caught under the foot. And we do not want to do that. So that is the 11.5 inch. So let's take a look at the 9.5 inch. Let's see how far this goes out. What you want to be sure of is that you have this part of the template, the bottom part of the template lined up. Okay? And then you're going to want to make sure that you have at least 1/4 of an inch on this part of the template for your seam allowance. And it looks really good there. Now, lines for lining this up, as I said, there's a ton of them here. This line is actually going to be our center vertical line. This line will be our horizontal line at the bottom of our design. You can see here that on an 8-point rotation, we've got these side lines coming up here nicely, and here you have the horizontal. So you have a whole lot of different lines to work from. So let's go ahead and start with this one, okay? We're going to be making some changes. But on this one, I want it to be fairly simple for you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put our foot down. Let's bring that bobbin thread up and think I can pull it out. There we go. I'm out of frame. Yeah, I need to put myself over again. Get myself back to where I belong, huh? And I do like to keep this threads underneath. Okay. Ken says I'm good. I'm back where I belong. Oh, yeah, there is a delay. Hi, Terry. Nice to see you. But that one won't work when you go sideways, right? Linda, very, very astute. It won't. We're going to do something a little different there. Let me show you. Okay, so this is going to be the perfect size for the 45-degree angle lines on this particular block. Oh, I already got that up. I don't know. Why I'm trying to do it again, but oh well, there we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do one rotation of this, and I'm going to put my first stitch in place. Remember that this is kind of curvy, so we want to keep those stitches a little on the shorter side. And get my hand over here. We could do two things, so I'm going to show you the second thing on the next corner. We're going to come all the way around, stop when we hit that center vertical line, and come back, making sure not to move our templates. And if you'll notice, I'm kind of struggling with that, and the reason being is I don't have staple tape on this template. Can you believe it? Y Yeah, all the times I've used this and I don't have staple tape. Well, let's go ahead and put some on. Weekend says, "Let's fix that." Well, Linda Vance, hi. So good to see you. Regina picked up real quick there that I didn't have staple tape on it too. Eh, I could just tell you guys that I'm just testing myself. But sadly, it wouldn't be the truth. Oh, now with the, curly cues, you definitely want to have stable tape on both sides of the template. We do flip these templates a lot, this particular one, and you're going to see me do that shortly. And there we go. Almost there. I do like to put one right here because this can flip up a little bit when we're working with it. And we want to remind ourselves we don't want that to happen, okay? There we go. Now we're good. So here's my very simple little design. As far as I'm concerned, they're adorable. And it's simple, yeah. Easy, yes. I think it's a great beginner's template. I think it's a great template for people who are seasoned, who've been doing ruler quilting a long time. I love the diversity. Now, what we can do is we could go in the same direction all the way around, and then the movement of the block will actually be all the way around, which is kind of cool. Jan asks, "Are you testing us?" I could say yes, but I won't. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do the same basic thing. I'm going to make it look just a little different than this first one, though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch until I hit the center line, the center vertical. Okay, here we go. And now you're going to understand why we want, there we go. I just kind of hit the seam allowance a little funny there. Now I'm going to stop right here at the top. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this template and I'm going to turn it over and replace it. I'm going to line it back up the same exact way with this line on the vertical center. I've got this line marked by my horizontal line on the center of the block. And now I'm going to come back down the same size that I stitched up on. What you'll notice is I didn't go all the way out onto the outside curly Q. And we're going to come back in and stop with the needle down. Now, okay, now you can see how different this design looks from this design. Same template exactly. Okay, just flipped it on this one, did not flip it over here. Now, there are other things you can do with this as well. And again, I'm just going on this diagonal 45-degree line. Okay, have a nice dinner, Linda. Okay, so here we go. Taking my one stitch in place. And I think I bumped the camera a little bit here. So I'm going to go up to that center, but this time I'm going to come straight back. What you'll notice is I did not put this little curly Q on the end, and I'm just coming straight back. And I'm going to stop right there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this go a little over. What I'm lining up is I'm lining up the edge of this design with the edge of my template. Okay, and we're going to go over again, and we're going to do the same treatment. We're not going to go all the way around. We're going to stop when we get to that vertical center, which is right here, and you'll see that there's a line on the template right here. I'm going to pull you up just a little bit there. Now I'm going to go back to the center and come back down. And stop in my center. Now I can come back in and do the same thing on this side, but instead of using this, the left side of the template, let me make sure you can see this. Instead of using, you see how we use the left side of the template over here. On this side, we're going to use the right, that right protrusion right there. And this should give us the same distance. And out we're gonna go. We're gonna stop at that vertical center and go right back to the center of the block. Now, can you imagine doing this all the way around? My goodness, it would be so wispy and so pretty. I could just see doing that on a big hexagon. I think that would look so cool. But now Linda pointed something out that was very astute, and that is this particular template, the 9.5 inch that we're using, does not fit on the crosshairs, does it? It only fits on the diagonal. So I'm going to go ahead and set that one aside. And let's take a look at our other templates and let's look, what do we think is going to fit nicely? You know what? I didn't intend for it to be the next one that I picked up, but it really is. It's the 7.5 inch. Now, the reason that I have picked this one and why I could have done the 7.5 inch all the way around, but the reason that I didn't is because my block is square. And what I really wanted to do was I wanted to fit the design into the squareness of the block instead of putting a circle on the block, which would leave the four corners kind of flopping around in the wind. Yeah. So that's the reason that I've chosen two different sizes. Let's take a look who snuck in here. Lee from Indiana. Hello, nice to see you. And Mary is here from the Great White North. The lakes of the, shores of Lake Superior. Welcome, Mary. And Tatting Quilting Crafter. Hello, Tatting Quilting Crafter. I do like to tat as well as stitch. I really do. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our 7.5 inch. And I think on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and do a regular rotation. And I need to move my arm up over my camera here. And we're going to come out. We're going to come all the way around. Stop. Take that one stitch in place and come back. Isn't that just beautiful? And it's so easy to do. Okay, so there is another one. And now what you can see, now it should be plain to see, I should say, is you can see the squareness of putting them together onto this block. Just because we have a square block doesn't mean we can't use the Spin-e-fex. We certainly can. Okay, so let's try. I want to try something a little different. Um, I think I will. I'm going to wait till we get to the other part to do this. Okay. So what I'm going to try is I'm going to take, oops, I don't want the smaller one. Actually, I do, but I want to put this one on first. Okay, so again, this is our 9.5 inch. I've got it lined up. Here's my center vertical. Here's my center vertical on the top. I'm going to make this one a whole one. Okay. And on this one, I'm not going to double stitch it. I'm only going to single stitch it. Because there are times when you don't want to stitch over over it twice. I'm going to stop at the vertical center. I'm going to just make sure you guys can see here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take this out, move this back a little way, and there we go. Get you good and centered. Now I'm going to put the template back on, and all I've done was turn it over. Now, how am I going to line this up to make sure that I'm exactly where I need to be? Well, I'm lining my vertical center up here, my vertical center, there's my line, and there's my vertical center right over the top of it. And then I'm lining up my horizontal line here and my vertical line here. And I'm going to stitch the rest of this rotation. Okay, and up we're gonna go, and we're gonna come back to the center and back to what we've had here. Now, the reason that I did that, I'm going to take this out now, is because I want to talk a little bit more about measurements and how those measurements work. Because if you don't understand that, things may get a little hairy as you're doing your blocks. This is a this is a 9.5 inch template. And what you're going to notice is that it is not, I'm going to do it this way, it's easier. It is not 9.5 inches from here to here. If we take a 1/4 inch off at the top, a 1/4 inch off at the bottom, so that's a total of a 1/2 inch. What we're going to have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and 3/4 inches. Okay? 4 3/4 inches times 2 is 9.5. So from here to here should be 4 3/4 inches. And from here to here should be 4 3/4 inches. So let's prove it, okay? I love to prove numbers. I just do. 1, 2, 3, 4 3/4 inches. Okay. If we go all the way out to the other end, we've got 9.5. So that is how we're going to measure our Spin-e-fex curly cues. Okay, I kind of like this. I think that would be so cool if it were a circular block or a circle inside of a block and you were going all the way around. I just think that looks so wispy and just so pretty. Okay, Sharon's arrived from Delaware. Hi, Sharon. Isabella from Brisbane, Australia. Welcome. Welcome, Isabella. And Patsy has made it as well. So good to see you. It's always nice when my friends come here. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so let's take a look add something just a little bit different. Okay. And this is going to be 16 rotations. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to do all 16 rotations. Let's start with the the 8 rotations. Okay. This is kind of a fun one to do, and it's not one that you see done this way very often. So let's take mm, the 9.5, yeah, 9.5 might be just a little big. Let's go ahead and start with the 7.5, okay? Let's take, yeah, 7.5. Or we could take one of the even numbered out of the bag. Let's see. This should be 8.5, 8.5. Let's do an 8.5, just so we can be different. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to start at the center again. I'm just going to push it this way so it's easier for me to see. There we go. Now, do you guys need some light here? Oh, there we go. I like giving you a little light because then it helps me to see better as well. But I don't wanna give you guys so much light that you need to run out and get sunglasses on. Okay, this is now a different piece of fabric, different batting, so I'm readjusting my foot. And Let me make sure I've got it in there. Oh, yeah, that feels perfect. And, the more you do this, the more you're gonna find that you go by feel. You're able to feel if that foot is on there correctly or not. Okay, one thing noticeably missing, and that is this particular vertical line for marking. But all of the other marking lines are there, the same as with the odd numbered spinifex. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, Ken's got a problem. What's wrong?
a couple of things. The main thing is I'm still on 906 quilting,
Okay.
but I got myself kicked off the Sold Steady page.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you ladies would be so kind as to excuse me just 1 minute, I'll get Ken back online with you, okay? Be right back. Okay, thank you for your patience. I really appreciate that. Ken's calling himself a high-tech redneck. But you know what? Even high-tech people sometimes have little glitches. So we'll excuse him this time, right, girls? Okay, so we're going to come up, and on this one, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to come around and stop on the vertical line, but I'm going to go ahead and try and get it all the way around the curly Q. So here we go. And again, need to move my hand here. And nice and slow, or fast if you prefer. I just tend to go really slow. And we're going to come all the way around. Now, my goal is to hit that vertical center line. And there we did it. Just did it. Now I'm going to take this out, and like all of our spin effects, we can just go ahead and we can cut that center because it's going to be stitched over so many times that it will be well knotted in there. Okay, so now I've switched it over, and you'll see here's my vertical center here, vertical center down here, and the horizontal line here. Now, one thing that I do like to always, and I know some of you guys have heard me say this many times, I like to be careful when I've got my etched line on top like this. If you have strong lighting, it can throw a shadow. And if that happens, sometimes it will make the templates feel like it's not in the correct space. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to finish that center circle. And we're going to come down and right back to the center of the block. I love this look. Now, let me pull you back. There we go. Isn't that cool? That little circle in there is just such a cool little addition. Jean's here from New York. Hi, Jean. Good to see you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go to the next line and I'm going to repeat that. My arm where it needs to be. And again, I'm going to go all the way around and stop when I hit that vertical center line. Get back over here. And now I'm going to flip my template and realign it, vertical center, and my horizontal line down here. I want to make sure you can see where that horizontal line is. Here is the horizontal line. Here is the vertical center, here and here. Okay, and my fabric just got caught there a little bit. No worries, I'll just stitch it in this direction. Now, if you want to, make double sure that you're exactly where you need to be. Go ahead and use your spacing gauge. There we go. I was actually out a little way. Right over the top of that. And down we go. And there we go. Can you imagine this all the way around? Isn't that just a beautiful design? I really think it is. You know, I brought my thread out here so that I could change the top thread because I was afraid that this was going to be too dark, and then I forgot to change the thread. So let's go ahead and do that. I want you to have a real good view of this. Okay. This is kind of a fun thread. I've never used this before during live, but it is variegated. So I think it's going to show up quite nicely here. And let's see if I can do this without additional lighting, although I probably do need, oh, I did it. Look at that. Yay. I get an A for today. Okay, and there we're going to go under the foot. There we go. And put the foot back down, readjust it. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, Ike, let's go. Michelle's here from Queensland, Australia. Welcome, Michelle. Ike is here from Colorado. Marion and Mary and Mike B are here from Buena Park, California, home of Knott's Berry Farm. I just, I could just eat a whole lot of that. Okay, Mary and Mike B asks, what's 906 quilting services that she sees noted above? Well, Mary, 906 Quilting Services is my business. It was a brick and mortar store that I had. I have since closed it because I really love teaching ruler work. And that's where my passion is. So that's the direction I decided to go in. And that's why you're seeing me tonight. Linda, hi from El Paso. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see everybody. Love it. Okay, so now that we've gotten to see this, let's talk a little bit about another design that I want to show you. And what we're going to use is we're going to use are we going to use the 8-inch or 8-point rotation? Yeah, we're going to use the 8-point rotation. So it's going to be on this side. I'm getting hung up here someplace. Oh, I know where. I didn't cut my bobbin thread again. You guys have to be getting used to this. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make just say I've got a triangle and I want to put a design in the triangle. So let me start here and now I'm going to make this triangle bigger than it needs to be. Okay, but all in all, it'll work out. And we're going to go here because we do sometimes have triangle borders, don't we? So this is what it's going to look like to start with. Oh, Mary, you're quite welcome. Oh, Linda, welcome back. Um, was dinner good? That would be my big concern right now. Hopefully you had something wonderful. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling out my Spin-e-fex. I'm going to start them large and make them smaller as I go out. Okay? But they're not really technically going to be smaller. They're just going to look smaller. That's a little too small. You know what? That one is perfect. And what we're going to do is we're going to repeat what we did here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started in the center again. Pull my bobbin thread up. Remember on Spinifex, we do not need to bury our threads. Go ahead and put this back down in the center. And I'm going to set my template in place. Okay, good job. I wanna make sure you all see it very clearly. Take that one stitch in place so I don't end up with a toe catcher. And again, I'm gonna go all the way around to the vertical center and then put my needle down, get rid of that thread, flip my template over. I'm going to turn the fabric so you have a better view. Okay, I'm going to line myself up again. Now, the way that I know I'm lined up is that this horizontal line, that's exactly the line it was on when I made the first half of this rotation. Here's my vertical center. I'm going to take, and you'll see that I'm going to line up very nicely if I could get in there easily, but it's not that easy. And I'm all lined up. Okay, so now this time we are going to go to the right. There we go. Just need to make an adjustment there. I got kind of flat on the bottom of my circle. but that's okay. And now we're going to come down and finish off this half of this rotation. And we're going to stop again at the center. So here's what we have to start with. Okay. Now I'm going to take, that was a 7.5 inch. Just want to be sure. Yep. I'm gonna move that tape down. Now I'm going to take the 5.5 inch. Now I could do this with a smaller one if I wanted to, but I like the 5.5 inch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to face it this way. Does it matter? Probably not. I just like this idea of facing it this way. And again, remember, we're doing this in a triangle. And we're going to come back to center. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to line this up with my vertical line here. I am lining this line up right on the, going to be the second one. It's going to be the one next to the vertical line. And we're going to make one rotation here. And we're going to go back to the center. Okay. Now, what you're going to notice is there's a blank here, isn't there? Well, we're going to take care of that right now because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to line up. Okay. Here is my first one like this. Here is my second one like this. And then my third one, I have lined up like this. So this one, I am going to come back and go on the line. This is the easiest one to find. Right here is your vertical line on this side and your 45-degree line on this side. So it's going to be the first line to the left and the first line to the right. And that's going to give us the perfect line to line up on. And we're going to come all the way around and all the way back. And back to center. So to make this triangle, now we're going to go the same way on the left side. Okay, let's see what's going on. Ooh, Linda had Alfredo fettuccine with mushrooms and chicken for supper. Much better than what I had. Good afternoon, good evening, Lori. Nice to see you. Lois is here too from Delaware. And Linda said she had that except shrimp instead of chicken. You guys are making me hungry here. Okay, so let's go ahead and come down the left side. Here's our vertical center. Here's the first line beyond our vertical center. and that's the line we're going to work on next. And there we go, coming around and round. Stop here, come back. And we're going to move one line over. So now we have our vertical center on our 45-degree line. And we're going to come back again. Remember now, this is a triangle, so we don't want to do the horizontal line. We're going to come down here with the next one. And back to the center. There we go. Now what I'm going to do, just to make this work, I think more real looking instead of just pretending. We do a lot of pretending when we're stitching here, don't we? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch in this triangle quickly. It won't take but a minute. Okay. I prefer to hold my template in my left hand when I'm making straight lines. I have no idea why. Okay. We're going to make a couple more straight lines here, and then we're going to have our triangle stitched in with our curly cues. And what you're going to notice is not only is it adorable, but you saw how easy it is to do. With all of the markings that we have available on those curly cues, we could do so many fun things. And there we go. Here is our triangle. I'm sure many of us have made quilts with setting triangles and wondered what we can do with them. This is one answer. Okay. Oh, Joyce, that's really cute. Joyce says it almost looks like a peacock's tail. And if I put enough lines in, I think you're right. I think it would. I want to show you one other thing we can do here. Okay. Um, I was set up for a 16 rotation, but I think you guys have got the idea here going forward really well. So what I want to show you, and I'm just going to grab a different piece of fabric here. I've got a ton of them. I want to show you how we can use this kind of as an edge-to-edge design. And you remember those cute little bobs we had last week? I'm going to bring those out again. Okay. By the way, I thank you guys because I got a call, whoops, Wednesday, last Wednesday. They noticed that there was a big run on these.
Tuesday night.
Yeah, we did this on Tuesday night. Yes, we used these on Tuesday night and Wednesday. They had quite a few orders for them. So down at So Steady, they were all wondering how that happened. So they looked back at my live and said, now we know. Okay, so this is the 12 rotation. So I'm just going to put 6 in here, okay? Only for the sake of time. Okay, and whoops, I did that wrong. Okay, leave it to me, hey? Does that make me a wrong way Corrigan, Deb? Cactus Deb? Okay, we're gonna come here, and then we're gonna come here, and then here, and here, and here. There we go. And I'll get my handy every other one, yep. And we're gonna come here. I just like to do this because, not because I'm OCD, I just like to do it. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my 16 rotation and I'm just gonna put it here. Okay, I'm gonna do one, skip, 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 and skip. So, whoops, there goes my pen. Here and here and here should do it. All right. Okay, so you guys mind if we go over a little bit? Of course, I mean, we always do, right? Okay. Bev says she has them, but she's not sure how to use them. I just showed you, Bev, so I hope now you know. Hello, Sarah. My daughter is watching. Okay. Oh, Linda's are on the way. Debbie's are on the way. And Debbie says it's okay because I'm not flying a plane. And everybody else says it's okay to go over. Okay. Except the dogs. Ken said the dogs have to go out. So he's going to leave us and take the dogs out. And I'm going to pull up my templates here. And I'm going to use small ones. I'm going to use the 3.5 inch. Okay. And then the other thing that I'm going to take out, my edge to edge template set, because it's new and I like playing with my new toys. Mm, okay. Yeah, that's going to be perfect, I think. Get this out of the way. Put those over here so they don't fall on the floor. Yeah, just leave it on, honey. I'll take care of it. Okay. And there we go. We're going to pull it up in the center. Put my needle down. And we're going to go ahead and put this cute little guy right there. Okay. Oh, we're not going to do anything different or special with him. We're just going to go ahead and make the normal rotation. There we go. And come back out. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that thread off. Let's get rid of that, okay? And head back to the center. Now, oftentimes with Spin-e-fex, I'll go from side to side. And the reason that we do that is so that the fabric draws up evenly all the way around. Okay, I'm gonna come here next. Oops, I gotta go one more stitch here, guys. There we go. One more. And around and back up. And again, we're gonna go ahead and flip it in the opposite direction. With this particular template, you're going to want to hug the right side of the template or the side that um, comes out from the center. Okay. And we're going to do one here. And around. And the last one here. All the way around and back to the center. But we are not going to break thread. Okay. There we go. What a sweet little motif. Isn't that cute? I think it's adorable. I could see that being used for a snowflake. Excuse me. Okay, so Bev said, yes, we must play with new toys. Absolutely, Beth. Absolutely. Okay, so Jan says, no, keep going. It'll be midnight before she goes to bed anyway. Kathy. Okay, Kathy says, let me interject about going over. Okay, hang on. She said, I began on my treadmill vowing to watch and work for the duration of this video. Well, she quit. I'm sorry, Kathy, I went over. Suzanne says she came in really late, but we'll be watching the replay. Thank you, Suzanne, and it's so good to have you here. Really enjoy that. Whoa, I am so sorry, guys. I hope nobody got sick over that one. Okay, so what I want to do next is I want to do this as a kind of an all over design. So I'm going to do two things. And the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extend my lines out. And the reason that I'm going to extend these lines, and they're right here, I'm just going to go ahead with my pencil and draw them out farther because I'm going to use a larger Spin-e-fex. Okay, and I want to make sure there's plenty of room for it because we don't have to make everything the same size. We don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. We can go bigger and we can go smaller. It's entirely up to us. We are our own bosses. Nobody else is the boss of us when we're quilting, right? Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to come in and I want to connect these two guys. Okay, so I'm going to use the edge to edge connector 2 and I'm going to use B. And the reason that I'm going to use B is because it makes this really cool loop in it. Okay, so I'm going to come out like this. Now, I think I want to go a little further before I put that loop in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull it out a little more. See what I did there? Let me show you. I started it here and let me turn this around. I want to make sure you got a good view of it. So I started in the center right here and I've stitched out, but I want this to come out further. So I'm just going to go ahead and move it down a little way and continue on. Now, the nice thing about it is nobody's going to know. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is take it and turn it over. And I'm going to have it come, I'm going to have it come this way. And I'm going to have it come down and around. Okay, so there's my loop. And I'm going to have it, I'm going to turn it while I move it down. And I'm going to turn it and move it down a little more. Have it come back in. Whoops, I should have had my needle down, sorry. And come right back into the center of my next one. You'll see I got a little loopy right here, but that's okay. It's perfectly all right. So my next one I'm going to try is going to be a 5.5. Let me find my 5.5. There it is. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead. And it's okay that that connecting thread or that connecting seam is right there. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now what I'm going to do with this one is every other one, I'm going to flip it over. Okay. So this is going to give it a whole different look. Even though we're doing the exact same motions that we did with the one before, just simply by flipping it over on every other reference line, it's going to give us a whole different look. And this is one of the things I really like about curlicues. I can have a Spin-e-fex and put a curlicue between the two petals where the Spin-e-fex meets, and I can go on and keep adding to the size of that Spin-e-fex by putting loops out there. And here we go. And this is going to be an 8 point. Always coming back to center. There we go. Move you over a little bit. and back and around. This is a great beginner template. And if it wasn't, I would not tell you so, but it really is. It's nice and smooth and easy to stitch. Okay, here we go. I was hoping to show you some border ideas tonight as well. Time just got away from me here. Okay, we've got two more to do. Around we go. Reminds me of an open heart. And one more. Again, if we come over this, it's not the end of the world. My suggestion would be if you do not want your connectors to go over the next motif, I would say put the Spin-e-fex in first, then come back and put the connectors in. Okay? Let me show you what I mean by that. All right. What do you think? Isn't that adorable? I love that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come out in this direction. I'm going to join these two like this time. I know we've already got them joined, but this is just to show you if you really don't want to get those connector um, stitching lines over your existing motif. Because some people don't like to, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, look at here. Can you guys believe it? I just ran out of bobbin thread. Look how much was left on there. Now you know how lucky I am to be able to come up with that. I'm just gonna quickly stick another bobbin in here. And to do so, I'm gonna lift my table or lift my glider up. And isn't this easy? I love, love, love this. It is so easy to change a bobbin here. Oh, come on now. Don't make a liar out of me. Okay, there we go. Put it back in. Make sure I got it right side up. There we go. And I'm going to just roll it back down. I need to put my foot down because with my 301, if I don't put my foot down, it'll crash into the needle bar, and I don't want that to happen. That can cause all kinds of mayhem. Okay, up we're going to go here. Let's go back to where we were. So I'm going to start at the center. You don't have to. You can actually have it come off of one of these if you wish. And I'm just going to pull my bobbin thread up. There we go. And there. I am going to use, which one am I going to, I'm going to use this one. Okay. Actually, I'm going to use a couple of them, but I'm going to start with this one. Stitch my one stitch in place. Here. Okay. I just want to get rid of this thread back here because I have a tendency to hang on to it when I really don't want to. Hey, Dee Dee, nice to see you. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen. Oh, I think this is just going to turn out perfect. It's not necessarily going to go right into the center, but it's okay if it doesn't. However, if you want it to go right into the center, what you may want to do, well, may want to actually use the outside edge here. Let's see how that looks. And then I'm just going to move it down a little bit. And there we go. It goes right into that center. And now we've attached it this way. Well, I know I can trim that thread. There we go. So there are some ideas. Now what we can do, if we want to put another one on here, my suggestion would be to go ahead and start one here. I even come down just a little bit. Pull that bobbin thread up. And yeah, let's go in that direction. Oh, we've got so many directions we can go into, and it's really totally awesome. So I'm going to take my one stitch in place. I'm going to go off here and turn up here, and I can make another motif right there. Okay, I won't. But we certainly could. And I wanna show you, you can come out anywhere. You don't have to come out at the bottom or the center of a motif and move forward. You can use the travel line here to come out and keep going in yet another direction. So, that is what I have for you guys tonight. I hope that you like it. Okay, let's see where we're going now. Dee Dee says, "Hi, Kathy. Kathy, what would happen if you flipped the curly Q one over and stitched back down?" I can show you that, Dee Dee, because we did that earlier. And that is what happens like this. That's one way we can do it. Okay? Those Spin-e-fex curly cues, there is so many things that we can do with them. And there it is. Okay, we also did a block, and here we did the same thing. We flipped it, but we didn't make the circle inside. You don't have to make the circle inside if you don't want. And then what we did here is we just got halfway up through the curly Q and stopped and went back towards the center. So you can see that, wow, there is so much we can do with this. My favorite is right here, the triangle. That's my favorite tonight. You know? But I always I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I do. That's just the way I am. Right, Dee Dee, there's so many options. Sandy, thank you so much, and Linda, thank you, and Regina, my friend, I appreciate you so much, Suzanne. Carla, I'm so glad you guys are all here. And Cactus Deb likes this. likes the triangle too. Gwen, thank you so much for being here. I sure appreciate you. And I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your evening. Isabella, thank you so much. Oh, Isabella's already knows where she's going to use one of these designs. Thank you, Kathy and Joyce. Okay, yes, 6 a.m. is early, but I will be back here tomorrow and we're going to be using the DM quilting puzzle template. It's really a good one. What are we doing next week? That's a good question. Janice, I'm glad you enjoyed this. Let's see if I can grab. Oh, yeah, I've got it. Let's take something out of our basket here for next week. What's it going to be? Ooh, Spin-e-fex 5. So we're going to have another Spin-e-fex next week, guys. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, I love the triangle. Love, love, love it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I just appreciate you so much. And I love being here with you. So if I don't see you tomorrow, until next week, let's quilt.